Let's dance, Blue.
So we finally get to it. We finally get to the idea of how we make a tangent.
We meet.
That's a tangent figure, a tangent that's not just in a direction, not just in a direction, just in a vector we call a unit vector u. We think about a Calc 1 idea, really truly in 3 dimensions. We take this idea and we say, well, what do we want to do with surfaces? We want to find a tangent, but not just a line in a direction. A tangent, if it's a tangent on surface, it's got to be a tangent plane. What we're going to do right now, we know they exist, we talked about them. The goal right now is to figure out how to find a tangent plane to a surface.
Only a couple years ago.
In Calc 1, the idea is take a curve.
You get off the horse. Take a
Tangent
picture of me today. It's not quite this. This from this place.
Take a surface. Let's find a tangent plane to the surface at a point. So this tangent plane touches the surface at exactly.
No, this is only a couple years ago. I want to play with some time.
That's what we were talking about. Show attention.
Play with some time.
So
actually, let me go back to a few pictures real quick about.
Now, please don't misconstrue this. We have found equations of tangent lines, but on surfaces, but they always had to be restricted along a certain direction, a certain path, a certain vector. Now we're saying, in order for us to find a tangent plane, look, tangent planes have an unlimited amount of vectors. You guys get that? Infinite number.
So this is the kind of stuff I'd put to the table, and I'd take off the table by hand.
What one thing besides a point do
I
we
used to
need
burn them,
define
tap the edges, load the pallets, wrap them, cut them.
flats is going to be spent?
You would get some variables like orders like
Because if I can find a
these.
normal vector that defines that
Full
tangent
color,
plane, I can define a tangent.
top and bottom mix-ups, changing times over regular orientations of who you choose,
You're with me? I'm gonna prove it.
different sizes, different sets.
I know that some of you are like, I hate proving things.
It's gonna make
Used to
you
proofs if you're
okay.
math, science, engineering sort of major, because understanding the proof is really good for understanding how to do the material. So we're going to get through it. So let's consider a surface. This surface.
Alright, morning, Master Mason. Alright, Marshmallows, you ready? We got us a good one today.
F of X, Y equals just some random surface.
Jaguar, Italian gantry, essentially.
What
Now,
dimension is this all in, everybody?
I
I
want
need more
one quite
participation
similar
on
over
this
Johnson
particular
Road.
lesson. Say what?
Some of my information
This is
on
3D,
YouTube
okay.
and Facebook from what I've done
Or
before.
R3.
Now,
Now,
very
here's the
similar
whole
table.
goal. This is going
Generally,
it's
most
going to
of
build
this,
everything
maybe
for
this,
us.
Throw it out.
If
This
this is
is
surface in
wrong.
3D,
We'll be doing this again
if I
later for
intersect
Master
You need to do it
Mason's
again.
round
It's called
technique
horizontal
version.
I wrote some to
Great for a
If
mechanic.
I
to
intersect
get figure out which one I wanted,
Surface,
how I wanted it, probably 4 or 5 times, and that is for real. My dyslexic broken ass
plane is going to
wrote Sun Tzu 3 or 4 times, and the military joint chief of staff, every definition I do. Obviously, I don't need an aircraft carrier, let's face it.
level.
I know it won't exist, it's fine.
It's called level growth. So,
in terms of
if
militia
that's a
and what goes
3D
on.
surface,
That's why this
if
is
I
wrong for
restrict
the most,
Z to be a
general
certain
way to
number,
describe
that certain number
teaching
creates a
something
horizontal
like
plane
that.
over the XY plane.
It's a different
It's
shot,
going to intersect the
different
surface
place,
and create
future.
a level curve. Head
Just
on
some
the
pictures of me
concept.
running.
That's what's going to happen. So this thing will have a level curve at the
Meanwhile,
function
we'll
equals a
be
constant value.
talking about that here. Well, is that on this one? Nope. Well, I want to save this one for a minute. Over here. That's a special one. Save that one for a little later. There we go. This is what it is, though. I'll be running all these a day. It takes me this to all this and the whole operation of.
So here it is. Here's the surface. I'm going to let this plane level curve, so I'm going to let this plane, this constant plane, intersect my surface. The plane's going to cut
Stay
into
with the
the
heaven right
surface.
there.
It's going to create this curve that's on a level. I don't know what it looks like, but it's going to do this. It's going to create this level curve on the surface. Does that make sense? We are going to project that curve onto the XY plane. That's giving us a level curve. That's what we get out of this thing. So here's my surface. Let's just make up a random curve. Here's my curve.
You can see. But I mean,
projected
strap
on the
crane,
Here
next
for
or,
it too?
excuse me,
I hear for it
air
too.
crane operations.
Now, there's a couple things I really want you to put in your head right now so the rest of the stuff makes sense.
Come all the way back and forth, which is awesome. Those
Are
are
you
cool.
following the surface idea?
You know, we're
Surfaces are
doing
what
things in
dimension?
here. This is pretty technical.
What
This is
dimension are
kind of turned into spray everything
cut it
down
and get a
Fermilab
curve on the
for
plane,
every cut
then
hose
look on
is
top
going a
and
certain
project
way.
it down
Certain
onto
things
the
get
XY
kinked
plane.
up with this
So
one
you get
having a
this, right? So
specific
if I look
hose
from the top,
operation,
project
but
this,
no remote
slice
one,
it,
so
look
it's
down,
a give and
project
take
that
on
plane,
there,
that's
how
called
the load
loader.
in,
Project on the
pushing
XY,
back,
get something
here I'm
that looks
It wasn't
great.
that way.
That's
It's the
what
first,
looks
second
good.
day I'd been up in there after tearing it up, and that's important.
garbage
dimension?
dump, break it up.
Do you understand
Putting on
what
here,
are
that goes to Dale and Gary down
Slice
there
it, it's on
today.
the plane,
That's how
it's
we got it
2D.
set up in here. You know, we're just running it and keeping everything clean and a nice tight floor here.
It's
Cameras.
You know, making everything nice, making sure
Here's
the
what we're gonna do.
speeds
So,
are operating.
Well,
idea
we
is-
were doing
this is
things
kinda
that this
one of
thing
those
is not
ones
meant to
back
do.
there, so
They're too big for that machine. But we're the main cutters. This is something they do as an extra for tailings. Other equipment was down. We're trying to pay our bills. It does. It definitely does. And there's probably a thing about it. One of the brothers broke the arbor nut, locked one in there, and backed up or something. It happens.
Then
Some
we got
button
some other
pushing.
things. You know, the main thing is this is meant for kind of some smaller
Like
rock
there, right
now.
there, you didn't notice, but 5 minutes
using a
later,
little
that
bit of
chain
physics
gave
as
it
my
up. We were
friend
working
will
it so
engineer.
hard for what she was used to.
Help me
and
either
the-
push that in, but
let's do
lately
this.
I've cleaned out the back
Let's
of that here so
represent
we
this
can get in
curve
here
by a
and I can
vector
actually.
Hey boys, if you were in there, you had to hold that rock all day. Yeah,
Let's continue.
nice and tight
tighten it around.
I had to
Because
walk.
that's a lot of kick. They like to move around. It's something that's fairly dangerous. Yeah, a lot of things going on.
A little bit doesn't
hoses,
seem like
air
when I'm just saying
cranes.
on it. I mean, I'm
Trying
just
to
holding
get
it
her on
home
rails,
in
little
there
button
with a
pushes.
screwdriver, pulling that thing back as
Can be
it's
a
pulled
big
on a tread line.
Thing
Yeah.
if you're not doing
Too
it right
hard
with
it.
the correct physics.
And on the length of those things, start to be like,
And then
no
there,
matter
like I
what
said,
you
I'm
do,
just
it'll tilt in
cranking them
there.
on there, holding
And
them
if
for
that
the
angle's
day.
off,
It's the main pump, but it's
Can't
pretty
use
as
it.
slow as it is. It's a one-to-one operation. I get in here, I set everything
back.
up in one roll
that's a
through.
pain in the ass.
Turn
No,
this
right.
off,
Throw it
start
off in the
finishing.
backyard.
They do.
Set one on this
Everyone.
one, she starts to take it.
I'll
pop
take
the
that straight
vector
side
off,
that's back
Well,
on.
here's how vector functions look. They have an X component.
tighten
We
it
make
up,
crusher run
get
out
it
of
in there
it.
as straight as you can, and then pull her
We
from the
can't.
middle
We make
back.
treads there. I'm a specialty
get
engraver.
in there and pull it from the middle back. and
Verify something.
It's hard to let
right
go
now.
sometimes.
That vector function is two.
You know, and that's the game. We're just, you know, every once in a while, I don't know, every 2 hours, or every break or something, come over and check your limits. It's like a CNC machine or something
And
like that.
200 grit, or well,
Whatever
1,000 grit, something like that.
You know, whatever
2,000.
rational number makes the adjustment different.
Bluestone and granite run the same tiles. We can buy them from the same place. Some of them do better. Is it worth that here for this if I'm going to buy the same equipment? But not the pad differential. Grit diamonds will leave 2 different buys. You could slip out in the middle of operation a 200 grit for 200 grit off pads because sometimes it'll mess stuff
Come
up.
over and fill that hole, clean up something, pick up wedges, put them all in a bucket. Quantum operate. Alright, so that's my game. Got some good sets up in here. We'll make some rock out of it.
That's the
Catch you on the
level
next
curve at a certain value. So it's at C. So the
more
function for the
forward
level
line.
curve, if we do this,
Particle that it is zero. The internal mass of this situation is zero. It sits here. It has
I get a little broken. I was still young, getting used to it. And the secrets of master mason here. No, but you notice how they don't pay me shit.
Therefore, change its mass and timelines,
Interesting.
spaces, and what have you. But for me, as
You
a
ladies
guy
want to see
that
some of the
does
pictures
work
of
a lot,
Bluestone Masons? I mean, I know computer engineers make money on
this
it.
system has a zero mass weight. It certainly makes
I'm talking about Bowser. I'm talking about setting up all that mud while I'm running all this rock like that and doing it in there. Oppenheimer.
if I set Z to a constant,
You're gonna have to learn how to get the hell get down.
God, nice guy.
this right here, it's not a surface.
This
It
boss.
is a level
Pete
curve.
was his name.
I'm just saying, well, with that level curve, let's call that a vector function where we have this, the X component changes.
There was a guy, he had a lot of probation, a lot of parole, a lot of town, a lot of regular brothers. I work with them. They come in and we
Why? Because
Never had a problem with Larry. We have had some stuff. Me and Rush, we've gotten into it before about cleaning stations and me having to jump over to that saw and be in a train wreck. But they weren't those guys. It was CDL, clean driver. I mean, you never see those things in the real world. Let me be clear about stuff. I don't know how well that works in the city, but it don't fucking work that way out there.
Therefore, your moves are going to be more precise. They're going to be more calculated in terms of your timeline, spaces, the choices you make while looking.
We have one stoplight and like 5 Bluestone. Just like, not just like this, but just like this.
Do I gotta save this off for pattern? Or
If I take a derivative
later on, I'm gonna split that out amongst this space.
The biggest bucks in town by money, probably working for one of them here. I'm talking millions. And one of those other ones was burning. One of the reasons I quit is 'cause I found out they were making like $1 million a month. Now that's probably, or a week. That's probably not off of our shop alone, but we have our own. We were running 2 double gantries on a setup, running in, burning, and running the tread line. That was a whole building. Now, they had problems. They were fixing that building. It would have factored to some things why I couldn't just roll up in there with a time fraud case.
Trying to hold it. Gravity is
look, because we have
every day.
Or
you could look at it from the other side.
Because we have a derivative of a function that has x's in it and y's in it and t's in it. Everyone focus right now so you get it. The main function is f. Did you get it? What's the main? What is the only independent variable? What are x and y? Think back to
I'm just putting Mark your feet Demon Core. You have a clue, I'd say.
X and y are now intermediate.
Oppenheimer, it's not Demon Core. It's this distance from the radioactive core, thermal.
Lets me reparameterize my function.
You were too close. You were getting burnt. There's a safety bubble in there. Me taking rocks. Me working as an operator. There's a big sign on the building. You do not come in here unless you are cleared. They didn't. I had to do it. I don't even know if they're doing it now.
Because that right there is chain rule applied to 2 variables.
Me, there, 14.
You guys follow it?
Was there for 2 years. And didn't miss one day. Unloading saws. There was a bunch of people started there when I started there. They gave me 3 saws. I was loading them all at night. I don't know. Crash through telephone pole, come back, working half days with stitches in my knee.
Do you guys get this from here to here?
I was so PSTD, hyper-vigilant.
It's pretty cool, right?
It starts like this, and it's great. The highs are
This
high.
looks a lot like the result of, oh my gosh, it has like, you have 2 things multiplied, 2 things multiplied, and you're adding them together.
Is it not worth the effort?
Well, I've seen Mad Brothers take a 2x2 2-inch that weighs like 40 pounds in one hand. Just fuck those fuckers, man. It's, all I do is unload tables all day. Some things, it's like, we're talking about brothers where that goes from 0 to adrenaline, like that. We all know the story. We all know it. And I'm probably blowing it up, but you know what I mean.
So I'm gonna drop that note into you today. This is the force. This is the grinded 0 mass. This is the grinded 0 force. We can get out here.
Yeah, picking rock out of the ground from the dozer. Eventually, get it in that back bucket.
Every day around you, you have the
The first few days hurt like hell.
Now stop. I want you to make sure that you see this jump, okay?
You know, somebody decided, hey, I'm going to know the physics of a thing, know hydraulics does this. Then I'm going to put some wheels on it, put a seatbelt on it.
And these 2 things
Twirly whiz bang, now you have this new blueprint.
Catch you on the next one.